Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Easter. I hope everybody's Easter went better than mine. Right? Good to see everybody in here. Hey, Mama Homestead. All right, you number one in here tonight, girlfriend. Happy Easter, PG, in chat. Happy Easter to you, girl. And number two, Robin. Number two, hey PG in chat. Hey to you. And Miss Justice number three. There we go. Happy Easter, PG. Happy Easter to all of you. God blessings. And number four is Tracy. Hey, girl. Number four in here tonight. Happy Easter, everyone. Prayers all missing from Rhode Island. All right. Girl, you living the life. You are living the life. Rhode Island is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Let's get down through here. Hey, chocolate covered pickle. How you doing? And Shy, how you doing? Good to see you. There's second to none. Stephanie. Karen. Bridget. Hello to you, sweetie. Happy Easter. Mama 3. Good to see all of you guys in here tonight. All right. I came in to hang out with y'all. We're going to talk about some stuff. Patty Ponytail, how you doing, girlfriend? Good to see you. Oh, that is beautiful. Absolutely adorable. I appreciate that, Mama 3. I really do. Hey, Anna, how you doing, girl? I love your name. I absolutely love your name. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see who else. I'm trying not to miss it. Yeah, just a small town girl. I love that. I love that too. Hey, Summer's Angel here. Good to see you in here. That's PG's little girl. Looks like I could have stopped a couple of times and talked to myself. Right? Hey, Candy. Good to see you. Harley Davidson. Good to see you. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter to you, girl. God bless. I'm moving to the bottom, you guys. Oh, wow. All right. Hey, Trina, I appreciate that. I really do. Yes, became a YouTube member. All right. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Texas Blue 22. PG, much love to you, girl. You know it. 45, how you doing? Let me see here. All right. Absolutely. Justice for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow. Member for 15 months. Legendary. How you doing, sweetie? I appreciate that. Love to all of you. Hey, girl. Much love back. You know it. Let me see. There's Lisa. Good to see you, girl. All right. Yeah, I seen CJ. I seen CJ somewhere in here. There she is. Hey, PG and everyone. Hey to you, CJ. Good to see you, girl. All right. Oh, Mama 3. Much love, PG, a little man. Member for 5 months. All right. I know you guys have been in here way longer than that. I do. Sometimes when you renew your membership, it doesn't calculate, the actual, the actual months sometimes, but I know that you guys have been members. A lot of you have been members, like right from the get, and I appreciate it. I don't know why that happens. I ain't figured that one out yet, but sometimes it'll say new member, and it's like, what? Right? Like, I know they've been here, right, for like 5 years, and I don't know why it does that. It's like a warped time machine. Right? It's a warped up time machine. They ain't keeping up with the time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, Candy. I'm so depressed these days. I'm going to tell you, I guess, girlfriend, I'm just going to have to tell you, pick a number, stand in line. Right? You got to pick a number, stand in line. We all depressed these days. Right? Gas prices rising. Yeah. Can't open your doors. First, you can't open your windows. Then you can't open your doors. Right? Then you gotta be afraid to look out your window. Yeah, girlfriend, we feel you. Right? We're all feeling it. We're living in the last days. We gotta be living in the last days. People's afraid to look out their windows, let alone open them or the door. Right? It's bad. we already became Lot's family, right? We've already became the Lot's family in Sodom and Gomorrah's. we're just waiting to we're just waiting for the Lord to come and take us out of there, right? That's what it is. This world is depressing. She said she don't know why. I could probably give you a few clues. Right? PG could give you some clues. This world is, but you got to remember, depression's just a word, right? It's a word. A stigma, it's a word used in psychology, like anxiety, depression. Psychology wants to use all of these words, and that's how they make their living, right? That's how they make their living, is by these words made up by man, right? You don't see the word depression in the Bible. You don't see the word anxiety in the Bible. At least I have not ever seen depression or anxiety mentioned in the Bible. If it ain't in the Bible, I don't think it exists. Right? I don't think it exists. What I think is, anxiety, depression, and so forth, is what they call everyday life, right? It's human emotions. All humans, what makes it bad is people don't understand that there's a million people out there, a million people out there sharing this, maybe not at the same time, but over the lifetime, there's a million people out there going through, the same thing. They just, it's just called everyday life. Ups and downs. That's what it is. It's life is a roller coaster, baby. And you're going to have your up days, and you're going to have your down ones. You're going, sometimes you're going to be in the valley. Sometimes you're going to be up on the mountain, right? When you're up on the mountain, life's good. No problems. Everything's great. But when you're down in the valley, you know, that's what they want to call anxiety, depression, all these technical words, um, in order to lead humans to believe that you need someone to talk to. Right? You need somebody to talk to. Um, no. I mean, I mean, no, you don't need somebody to talk to on earth. You need to talk to the man upstairs. He's the one that makes the sun come up and the sun go down, the moon come up and the moon go down. you know uh he's the one that controls all things. And you know and he gives humans a choice. um you know the one thing you have that no one can steal, no one can ever take it away from you, is self choice. What I'm saying is, no one owns your feelings. Nobody owns your feelings. They can own your feelings if you lack them. But if you do not want to let anyone own your feelings, they can't. If someone's trying to make you upset and you start laughing, you just decide, hey, I'm going to laugh about this. I'm going to think, I'm going to get the humor out of what this person's trying to do. I'm going to get the humor out of them, because they're going to be upset trying to get you upset, right? And you already got even with them. I mean, they're upset, and they're going to be even more upset because they're not going to be able to make you upset because you're laughing and you don't give a shit. And now they're even more upset. And I'm going to tell you something. You done got even with them. Why get upset? Why upset yourself? This person already, it's their problem. That's their baggage. Let them pack it. Right? Let them pick that damn load up and get gone with it. It ain't my load. See, they cannot keep you from laughing. They cannot keep you from not caring. They cannot keep you from doing anything that you don't want to do. That totally belongs to you. No one has control over that. You do. You have control over your own happiness. You have control over if you're going to be depressed or not. You have control over if you're going to be, anxious or not. You have control over every aspect of your life. It's your choice. God gave that to you. No one can take it away, right? Nobody can take it away. So why let them do it? Why let somebody else own your feelings, own who you are? Of course, psychologists ain't going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that you have a choice, that that nobody, even them, can tell you how to think or how to feel. Because people in this world want control. Everybody wants control of someone else's life. They want control, for self-gain, right? For self-gain. People want to tell you how to live, so you're living for them. People want to tell you what you need to do with your life so that they can profit from it, right? Somehow, some way, they feel, they can take something to take from you. And a lot of people let them. A lot of people allow it. If you're smart, you won't, right? Those are little things that, you could put psychologists out of business if you just get up every day and choose to be happy. You just get up every day and choose to be who you want to be, and don't live for people, live for yourself, live for God. Do what you want. Go outside and take a walk with Jesus, right? Tell him all about your troubles. Right? Tell him. Tell him about it. And I guarantee you'd go outside, you have a walk with Jesus, you tell him about all your troubles going to be gone. They're going to be gone. I don't care what they are. They're going to be gone. Because that's how it works. That's how it works. I don't need to talk to humans. Right? I talk to the Lord. I talk to God. I talk to Jesus. I talk to myself. I feel I'm better company than some of the company I keep. Right? And I tell you what, I even answer myself. I don't even care. I'd be like, damn, PG, you're stupid. Yep, sure am. Right? That's what I was telling myself tonight, this evening when I was cooking dinner. I would tell you, worst freaking dinner ever. Like, worst dinner ever. Right? Pull out the cold cuts. This dinner thing. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but whatever I did, I shouldn't have done. Right? So, I could have got upset. I could have said, I freaking, sweat in that kitchen all day, over a hot stove, the oven's going, I could, I could have let it bother me and been, been upset about it, but I wasn't upset at all. I don't know what I did, but you know what? The looks on everybody's face was priceless. All right. The look on my own face when I tasted it was priceless. I was like, oh, damn, nobody eat this. Right? Everybody stop. It was terrible. Just terrible. So, Lord have mercy. But I don't care. This is called memories, right? It's called memories. This is the stuff. This is the stuff you write down, right? You write down in your journal, or you write down in your diary. This is stuff that people's gonna be laughing at 100 years from now when they're reading it, right? They're gonna be cracking up, and you're gonna bring happiness to somebody else's life in the future, and you brought happiness to yourself and your family because you were big enough to admit it. It was hard to do. But you admitted it. You took responsibility for it. Right? And you laughed about it. And that's what life's about. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to be crying over some spilt milk. Damn, it's already spilt. Right? It ain't no getting that back. Why am I going to be upset? Right? I'm going to be all upset and still have to clean it up too. That don't sound right. At least I can be happy. I can be happy cleaning the damn shit up. Saying, hey, it's gone. Right? Wish I'd have bought me a smart house. Right? This is one of the times I wish I had a smart house where the floor just, makes it all disappear. Instead of me, right? Instead of me making it disappear. That's a lot of work. You have to go to the broom closet, get out the damn broom, get out the dustpan, right? You got to sweep all that crap up. Then you got to make sure you take it out and throw it away. Then you have to rinse the freaking, if it's liquid, you got to rinse the broom and the dustpan off, right? Come back in, freaking mop everything up. It's a whole freaking process. I ain't got time to be upset, right? I got shit to do. Oh, Lord. Yeah. I mean, besides that, I'm too busy. I'm too busy with my cell phone, right? I'm too busy with my cell phone out. Wanting, wanting to PG's got my cell phone out, wanting to capture, right? I'm wanting to capture everybody's happiness and everything during Easter, during Easter, dinner and all the stuff. I mean, it's a holiday. You want to capture everything. only thing, only thing I caught, only thing I caught was a whole bunch of people. All I caught was a whole bunch of people at the dinner table with a look on their face. With a look on their face I can't quite describe. Right? Until I taste my food. and then I had the same look. I have to admit, I was very slow in understanding. If I ever see those faces again, I'm going to save myself. I'm going to save myself, man. Oh, shit. This life's too short. It's too short to be upset. And then, listen to this. Listen to this. This is the funny thing. Even after I seen all their faces, I still take a bite, right? I'm telling you, I was slow. I was slow today. I'm going to tell you, little man's messing up my quick wit. Yeah. I'm too tired to think fast. And even after I took a bite, I said, nobody eat this, right? They were all staring at me. They all staring at me like, what? And somebody, I don't even know how many people, because it was like, oh, yeah. It was, it was like one of those, you know. Oh my God. It was like one of those things where, you say, they say, you say, they say. I said, nobody eat this. All of a sudden I heard, like this, all of these people saying too late. I was rolling. They're like, too late. I should have known by the look on their faces that it was already too late. Oh, shit. That is one video I will not ever delete. Right? I'm gonna put I'm gonna take it and make sure I back it up. Anything happens to my phone, I want to make sure that video is saved. I'm gonna tell you. Even in all of that, Easter still was good, It's Easter. I had to explain to everybody, Easter ain't about the dinner on the Easter ain't about the dinner and all the things. You know what I'm saying? I had to explain this stuff to people who just who just took a bite of some stuff that just went wrong. Right? It all went wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I must have thought I had seasoning and it was sawdust. I don't know. I don't even know. I think I heard somebody say worst cook ever. Right? I think I heard somebody say that. It's like no respect. Right? No respect up in this place. Oh shit. I'm going to tell you something. If you would have tasted my food, if you would have tasted my food, it wasn't called the fire department, it was called a doctor. Right? Somebody call a doctor. It was terrible. It's fucking terrible. And I do not I do not care to let you guys know. My Easter dinner was awful. Absolutely damn awful. The food was so bad you couldn't even enjoy dessert. That's how bad it was. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea what the hell went wrong. But it went, man, you talk about going south, it went south. It was bad. Oh shit. Oh. Yeah. That's truly so. my my deviled egg supposed to, my deviled egg supposed to look like a little bunny on top. I don't even. Oh, that little that little bunny. I I'm gonna tell you, that little bunny wasn't cute, man. That little bunny was tasting funny. It was fucking terrible. Like I said, I have no idea what went wrong. I I've been so tired. I I think I might have put what's supposed to go in the what's supposed to went in the sweet potatoes into the ham and what's supposed to went in the ham into the, I don't even know. I don't even know, but I'm gonna tell you, that's that stuff tastes awful. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm like, one bite, everybody stop. No, nobody went for a second. Nobody went for a second bite, let alone a second plate. Yeah. You know, you got choices in this world. you could be upset. I could have come in here all depressed and, and like I was so tired. I don't know what when it was crap. I could have given a pity party. I could have been all upset. I could have been tearful, right? Like, why would I? Why would I get all upset? It's just, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Gotta move forward. And luckily, we had backup, right? Luckily, we had some cold cuts and some backup. We had cold cuts, potato chips, right? We had we had some people were no, we had some people who were no longer hungry, right? Like myself. Oh my gosh. But that's how PG's Easter went. That's how my Easter went. It didn't go good. It did not go good. And then I got a picture of little man, right? I got a picture of little man and, got him an Easter basket, right? And in this little Easter basket, he's got some outfits. He's got new socks. He's got toys, right? All kinds of things in his Easter basket. he got a big stuffed animal, right? Right in the middle of this Easter basket with all this stuff around it. And and you should have seen the picture of him. I kind of like set him up so he could see his Easter basket. And he's looking at that thing like, what, like, what the heck is that? Right? He's got the weirdest freaking look on his face. He's not happy. Right? He's not sad. He's just got this look like, what the hell is that? Funniest picture I ever seen. Little man's first Easter. Right? I'm like, yeah, this whole day has went like that. So it is what it is. I don't know what to, I don't know what to tell people. Oh yeah, girl. I'm gonna tell you. All I want to do is crawl somewhere and go to sleep, right? I want to go somewhere and just go to sleep. That's a luxury. That's a luxury these days. You know something, Tina? I was thinking of that too. That crossed my mind today. Absolutely. Matter of fact, even yesterday, last night, yesterday evening, um, I was talking to my daughter. Me and my daughter was talking, and about the missing kids and stuff, and she always likes to get updated, what's going on in the missing kids cases and stuff, and we were talking, and I told her, that little summer should have been here. She should have been here. She should have been, she should have been enjoying Easter. Michael should have been here enjoying Easter, right? Jack and Lily, little Genesis, all of these kids, Nancy. Nancy should have been here enjoying, Easter dinner with her family, with her children. Um, you know, she should have had a big family get together. She should have had, I'm sure she would have loved to have been in the kitchen making some dishes and, to share with her family and grandkids and another, celebrating another year of being here and, you know, and still being with family and so forth and so on. And, I'm sure she would have been so grateful that the Lord given her so much time on this earth to just life, enjoy life. And she's not here. When we think we got things bad, um, you know, when you think that, oh, it's terrible because I got to get glasses. Well, remember the person that can't see. Oh, I need some new shoes. Remember the person that has no feet. Or even if they had shoes, they couldn't walk in them. People out there, no matter what you're up against, there's people who have it a lot worse. And if they can smile and they can laugh and they can enjoy life with everything they got going on, man, we have no problems at all. We need to enjoy life too, right? We need to look up and thank God for all his blessings. That's, and not be upset or depressed over nothing, right? Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow is another day. I don't know if tomorrow will right the wrongs of my cooking. I don't know, but let's hope it does, right? For my family's sake, let's hope it does. Let's hope I figure out just what went wrong, right? Because I don't know. I have no idea. But, sometimes we have to, sometimes we have to understand that, we got a molehill compared to some people's mountains. Some people have mountains of issues. We just got a molehill, right? And we should really thank God for it. We should thank him for it. Amen. But anyway, I want to get to 84 years and something like that happened to her, right, Tina? Horrible. Absolutely horrible, girl. I agree. Amen. Mama 3. Amen. I'm going to tell you, I've always heard that, Tina. I've always heard that my whole life. I've heard that. And I'm going to tell you, I always found it to be true. I've always found it to be true. At some point, at some time, it comes to the light. It's God's time, not ours. It's not our time, it's God's. We're on his time. He's not on ours, right? And he'll expose evil as he sees fit. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Right? Vengeance is mine. We're supposed to just, put it in God's hands and let him handle it. And he will. At some point, we're going to get all the answers we're seeking. Every answer we're seeking, we're going to get answers to it. At some point, Michael will be found. Somewhere, somehow, he's going to be found. At some point, Summer will be found. All of these kids. Sebastian, he'll be found. Every last one of them. The truth will come to the light. We will, at some point, know exactly what happened to these children. Every last one of us will. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Lisa. I appreciate you. Behold, he is risen. Amen. Amen. Hey, girl, I appreciate you supporting Summer's channel. God bless. I really do. No, that's true. It's true, Tina. God don't like ugly. God don't like evilness. He absolutely does not like people who hurt children, who, hurt people in old age. God does not like cowards. Only cowards hurt children and women and old people. Only cowards hurt people less able to defend ourselves, right? Than others. It takes a coward. I'm going to tell you, cowards are the ones hurting children, women, old people. Cowards are the ones that sneak around and do dirty stuff without being seen. Cowards don't come to your face. They don't come to your face to face, and, and tell you anything. Cowards get other people to come. Cowards, attack and prey on the weak, children, women, old people. Cowards, they're like thieves in the night. They don't want to be seen doing their evil. They don't want nobody knowing that they're behind the evil. And cowards are evil. Cowards are evil. They're evil people. Yellow-bellied, the God's children, the righteous, the good people that would never do none of this stuff, that would never hurt a child. I mean, they would protect children. They would protect women. They would protect old people. The people who would really stand up and protect others so they don't get hurt, those are the brave ones. Those are the people, the righteous, the people who don't lie, that don't steal, that don't come around and try to, get you in the back because they're too afraid to talk to you in your face, to confront you face on. They're fucking cowards. And brave people ain't like that. God's children ain't like that. You know the good people from the bad, because good people will stand. They'll come to your face. Good people will walk right up to your face and say, listen, I have a problem with you. I got a problem with you. And they'll tell you what their problem is. And they'll tell you, we need to settle it. I don't care how we settle it. It needs to get settled. I mean, they'll come right to you, but cowards won't. Cowards will do dirty dog shit behind your back, right? They'll do some cowardly stuff behind your back. They'll seek out your vehicle. They'll seek out, your windows of your house, right? With a rock, they'll or worse, you know, they're the ones that pull up and pull off because they're cowards. I ain't got no time for people like that. You know, those kind of people right there, you put them in God's hands. You let God handle them. You know, sometimes you think that these wicked, evil people, you know, you think these evil, wicked people have such a good life, right? They got such a good life. They're out there, they're doing this and they're doing that, and you know, and one thing and another, and they seem to have no problems. That's a front. That's a front. Those wicked people, let me tell you about these wicked people. These wicked people got all kinds of damn problems that you have no idea because they hide it. They hide all of their health issues. They hide all of their drama and trauma. They hide everything because they want you to see a facade. They don't want, you know, they got an image. They feel like they got an image to uphold. And they don't want you to know all of, you know, all of what the devil's doing to them, right? They don't want you to know how they feel like shit, how they ain't got nothing, how, you know, they're hocked up over their head in mother freaking debt. They don't want to let people know because they got this image that this facade that they need to keep up to try to keep drawing evil people in that they can use up to go out there and use and abuse the people that, you know, they're jealous of, that they can't stand just because, you know, just because this person looks better or this person has, you know, has nice things, or because this person, you know, everybody talks good about them and they can't stand that, right? It's pure jealousy, envy, greed. This person done nothing to them, but they want this person, you know, they want this person destroyed because this person's, you know, righteousness irritates their demon. This person's blessings irritates their demons. And that's what these people do. And that's exactly what the Wells do. Right? That's what Don and Candace does. Candace sees any woman or a little girl like Summer. She sees any woman, including her own daughter, get any type of attention. Let it be, you know, good attention or negative. Candace gets jealous, right? And she wants that person. She starts hating them and despising them, and she wants them gone, right? Like Dee Dee. Dee Dee didn't ever do nothing to Candace. Not a damn thing. Summer didn't do nothing to Candace. Summer was her daughter. But she felt like Summer was getting attention. Even though Don Wells' co-worker was up on that hill, right? Even though his co-worker was up there on the hill, Dudley, looking at Summer, thinking to herself, is that a boy or a girl? Why is that kid shaved bald-headed? And he's staring at her, right? Like, I think that's a girl. What the hell did they do to her head? Well, he's standing there trying to figure out what kind of monsters would do this to a little girl. If it is a little girl, I think it's a little girl. Who would do this? But Candace took him looking at Summer, thinking to herself, what the hell did they do to this kid? She took it as him, as Summer getting attention that she wasn't getting. And she disliked Summer for it. Candace sat there in her mind thinking that Dudley was giving Summer attention when Candace was the one wanting the attention. And she was thinking Summer's getting the attention she wanted. And she had no idea that Dudley's sitting there thinking, he's not giving this little girl attention that Candace wanted. He's giving this little girl attention as in your mom's a bitch, your dad's an asshole, and why would they do this to you? Right? Why would they do this to you? If you're a little girl, why would they do this to you? What the hell's going on here? I mean, it was negative attention towards the parents for doing a child like this. I mean, he was in awe. This guy was in awe. And Candace, in her mind, because she's so sick in the head and disgusting, and the only thing on her mind is corruption, she was, acting like this guy was thinking the way her and Dawn and all of them, essayers that come up there think, right? When you have people like Dawn and Candace, their mind frame, they think everybody thinks like them. And that's how humans are. Humans think everybody thinks like them. If you have humans that are always like Dawn and Candace into all that essay stuff and all that nastiness, they think that everybody, a preacher could go up there. A preacher could have went up there. And they would have thought a preacher is thinking the way they are. They would have said, boy, that preacher really ain't a preacher. Right? When that preacher was thinking nothing like them. Absolutely nothing like them. But in their mind frame, they think a preacher is. Because they're disgusting and they believe everybody thinks like them. Just like normal people. Normal people make the mistake of thinking everybody's normal. Everybody thinks like them. No, they don't. No, they don't. People don't think like you. All humans think different. And there's a lot of dangerous damn humans that don't think like you at all. They're three sheets in the wind. And you better stay away from them. You better, when you talk to people, make sure you know them. Make sure you understand what you're talking to. Don't think that, hey, I just met this person. They're normal. They're just like me, because they may not be like you at all. And you open your door for them, you're making a big mistake. You're making a big mistake. And by the time you figure it out, it's too late. It's too late. Sometimes your own family don't. You think that, because you're all raised together and everything, that your family thinks like you. No, they don't. Absolutely not. They don't think like you. They think like them. Your own family, your own family will use and abuse you because you believe that, that they think like you, that they're like you, when they ain't a damn thing like you. They're users. They keep calling you and asking you to do this and do that. And you don't even figure out that they're not there for you until you need something. And the one time you call them, after 1,000 times of helping them, the one time you need help, what? I can't do that. What do you mean? You just assumed they was going to be there for you, to find out that that's bullshit. They weren't there for you at all. You didn't know them. You did not know them. The whole time they was using and abusing you, you did not know them. until you asked for something yourself. Right? So you could be, screwed by your own family. There you go. And how much more would a stranger do to you? If your family's capable of doing stuff to you, how much more would a stranger do? Just saying. Just saying. And I think that's what happened, in Summer's case and the operation that these people were running up on Ben Hill Road. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think that Don, Candace, Grandis, I think they were using and abusing these children, yes. But I think they also was letting outsiders come in and do the same thing. And I think one of those outsiders, went too far. Because Candace plainly said on the news, and she said, if I would have been there, they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I would have been there. She said they would not have hurt her like that if I would have been there. So she admitted that Summer was hurt. Put a one in the chat if you remember that. She said Summer was hurt. And they wouldn't have hurt her like that if she would have been there. That told you right there what happened. That told you right there that it was an outsider that they knew who hurt Summer to the point that she had to be, she had to be done the way she was done at the swimming hole. We seen Summer going downhill. We seen that she was, sick right before she disappeared. We could tell she was really bad off. That little girl was sick. Something bad was wrong. We know it. We could tell by the pictures how bad it was. She was on a slip and slide, and her brother was having to help her up, where all the rest of the kids were jumping up and running back and sliding and jumping up and running back. Summer slid down it, trying to be like other kids, even though she was so sick. She wanted to be like the other kids. And she wanted to have fun like they were having fun. But when she got to the end of that slide, she couldn't get up. She couldn't run back. We seen it. She couldn't do it. She was walking around depending on Marlena's daughter to hold her up. She was hanging on to another little girl as support to hold her up. Summer was sick. And Candace told you exactly what happened. They hurt her. They hurt her. And if she'd have been there, it wouldn't have happened. So she's telling you that whoever this outsider was, that they allowed to be around Summer, did something really bad that couldn't be fixed. Right? And Candace wasn't there. She wasn't watching over it. Now, you remember Fred said, I went up on the hill and Jody Sue's son was in the pool with Summer, unattended. He said nobody was out there except Summer and Jody Sue's son. I said, where was Don and Candace? He said, in the house. Where was the other kids? In the house. They allowed people to be unattended with Summer, right? unattended with their daughter. And that's why, in my opinion, that's why Candace made the statement. She said they hurt her. She said they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I would have been there. So right there, she said she knew who hurt her daughter. She said she knew who did it. I wasn't there, but I know who did it. She told on herself, right? We all heard it. When people's talking, sometimes you don't catch it. Sometimes, you guys probably didn't ever think of that. You probably didn't ever think of that statement, the way I just explained it to you. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't catch on to it at first. Even I didn't catch on to it at first. I'm like, what, I thought it was weird. I thought, like, what the hell is she talking about? If she'd have been there, But I really didn't analyze it, right? I didn't really analyze it as being a confession until I started to think about it and start analyzing it. And then I said, damn, this bitch told us, sat right on the news and told us exactly what happened to this little girl. I mean, if Summer was abducted, Candace wouldn't know if anybody hurt her, right? She can't say they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I was around. No. She'd have been able to say, whoever took her wouldn't have took her if I'd have been in the house or if I'd have been around here really watching. They couldn't have took her. But she couldn't say hurt her. Because some people, an abduction don't mean someone's hurting someone. Sometimes people abduct a kid and, and they keep it and they raise it, right? They take a little girl and like that because they want, they got some mental problems. Maybe they lost their child or something. And or maybe there's been husbands, right, who take a kid because their wife isn't normal. She lost a child or something, and they want to give her another child so she'll be okay. So they take this child to her, and she latches on to the kid and raises the kid. They don't hurt the kid. There's some women who lose their child, and they take a child, right, and they just raise it as their own because they miss the one they had so much. And later they find out, that the child was just being raised. So you can't say somebody hurt it because you don't know. You have no idea. With abduction, you have no idea what's in the person's head or what they're doing, right? You don't know. I mean, we've heard so many different stories of abductions. And he's like one girl, she took a kid, she takes it to her parents' house, right? Her parents raised the kid. And years later, the kid finds out, that it was abducted. Nobody hurt the child. So she couldn't have said, what she said if we're talking about abduction. No. She told exactly what the hell happened, just like they told law enforcement they knew Summer hadn't wandered off. And when they said that, when parents that don't know what the fuck happened and ain't going to tell law enforcement that the kid did, because you can't tell law enforcement it didn't wander off. 5-year-old children are unpredictable. 7 and 8-year-old children are unpredictable, right? There's 7 and 8-year-olds that just go out and leave. And you have to go find them, right? You think to yourself, this kid's 7, 8 years old. It can sit here while I run to do laundry. It can sit here while I run upstairs and change the sheets on the bed. It can sit. It ain't going to open doors or go out. This is an older kid, and you come back downstairs, and I be damned, the kid done went out the door or let somebody in. So kids are unpredictable, and even though you told them not to open the door, they still did. Right? Even 12, 13, 14-year-olds, you tell them not to do something, they still do it, right? So you can't say what or happened if you really truly don't know. If you really truly don't know, your first thought is the kid did wander off. That's your first thought, is this kid, especially if the kid was in the house, right? If it was in the house and went out, the first thing you think is you're going to find it. It's somewhere out here. It just wandered off. You don't know where it went, but you're sure they're going to find it somewhere. And usually they do. Usually the kid's found, because that's what kids do. You especially don't even think of an abduction with a kid. When a kid disappears from inside the house, you don't think of abduction. You think the kid wandered off. And you think law enforcement should be looking all over the place for a wandered off kid. You're out looking for a wandered off kid. And you're pretty sure you're going to find it until you don't, right? Until you don't. Until you are forced to understand something more has happened than it wandering off. That's what I'm talking about. But Candace sat there, right there in front of everybody's face, and she said, she sat there in front of all our faces and said they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I would have been around. Right? If I would have been there. If I would have been there. So she's telling you one of them outsiders came in. She wasn't supervising. She wasn't there. And something really bad took place. Right? And Summer was hurt. They couldn't take her to a hospital. They couldn't fix that without going to prison. They couldn't get her help without going to prison. That kind of hurt can't be documented, right? Without somebody going to jail. So they went out to that swimming hole and they did what they did. They worked it out, planned it out, right? And they went through with that plan on June 15, 2021. Because they felt forced. They felt forced to do what they did. And that's why they were able to tell law enforcement she ain't out there. She didn't wander off. Because they already knew where she was. They already knew the whole thing. The whole time. And why law enforcement has not figured this out, and why they have not stepped in and put these two people, actually 3, in prison, I don't know. I ain't got an answer. If I was sitting on a jury and I heard the mother on a news station say they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I'd been there, I would have, I would have been all for prosecuting her to the fullest extent of the law. If I was sitting on a jury, I would have went back there and said, guilty as hell. Guilty as hell. How's this woman know? I mean, she just admitted that she knew this child was hurt. She said they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I'd have been there. I just said, this Hunter boy says that this little girl was wet on a pillow against the driver's side door of this vehicle after swimming. Where did she get put in that outfit? Because the only other place they stopped after Walgreens, Sonic's, and the store was Allison's house. Why didn't law enforcement get a search warrant and go through Allison's house? They had probable cause to go through her whole house, to bring in search dogs, to do everything. Why did they not execute it? Why did they not do what needed to be done? Why did they not bring Hunter in and question him, interrogate him? Why did they not check Hunter's arms for scratches? Why did they not ask him to pull up his sleeves and check him for scratches or bruises or marks on his arms or his face or his torso? Because let us remember, he had no shirt on. I would have wanted to see him in those swimming trunks, just the way he was in that water. And I would have wanted a doctor to go over him from head to toe to see if any marks were on him consistent with the little girl's fingernails, a little girl's fingerprints. Right? I would have wanted the clothes he was wearing that day. I would have wanted all the clothing that he had and was wearing that particular day. I would have wanted to see if there was anything, any DNA of Summers on him at all. I would have wanted everything of his sent to forensics and checked for any type of DNA of little Summers. Right? But they did not do their job. They did not, any way, form, or how, gather up all the evidence. Law enforcement wasn't out to gather any evidence. Law enforcement was out to put on a show. They went up there with a bunch of police officers and a hand-picked search party, and they didn't even spend the night. They didn't even spend the first night out there looking for this little girl. It's almost as if law enforcement knew she wasn't out there. I mean, they knocked off about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, said to hell with it. We'll start again after breakfast tomorrow. Everybody meet back up here after breakfast tomorrow. Who in the hell leaves? I mean, if you really think a little girl wandered off, who in the hell goes home, goes to sleep, instead of staying out there searching for the child? Because I know for a fact that law enforcement has mother freaking spotlights that could light that whole damn, it could have lit that whole damn forest up like it was daytime in the middle of the night. Put a one in the chat if you agree. I have seen them. When they're on a manhunt for somebody, I have seen them light up a mother freaking forest like it was daylight. Right? The person couldn't move in any direction without being seen. It looked like the damn sun was shining inside that place. Matter of fact, it was darker in there during the day than it was in the middle of the fucking night with all of their damn lights. Right? But they knock off, go home, let's resume in the morning. That tells me they're putting on a show. And they know that kid ain't out there either. And they put on that show for 2 to 3 whole weeks. And then called it scaling back. They called it, after the first week, they scaled back a little. But after the second and third week, they called it scaling, we're scaling back more. And they completely just shut it down, right? They just shut it the hell down. And they waited months. They waited July, and they waited August, and they waited September, right? They waited October. They waited for months before they brought their asses back up there and searched again. And they called that the deep dive search, right? When all the foliage is down, the deep dive search. This shit's like a movie. A bunch of bad acting, right? One of those budget films. A bunch of damn bad acting. That's what I saw going on. Myself, that's what I saw going on. I'm going to tell you, there's probably a special place in hell. There's probably a special place in hell for people who doesn't bring justice for a 5-year-old little girl. I'd hate to be law enforcement and not got justice for a 5-year-old child when I could have, right? When I could have. I would not want God to know I could have, and for some unknown reason, well, God would know, I didn't. Right? I wouldn't want God knowing that. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're not going to have no better chance getting through the pearly gate than the mother freakers who did it. They did it, but you ate it and abetted it because you could have solved the crime and you didn't. So you're just as guilty as they are. You're guilty of letting them get away with it, right? Knowing they done it. Just saying. But anyway, tonight I wanted to talk about Arkansas. I wanted to talk about Arkansas tonight, real quick. Now I want you to listen to this first.
If there was anything I would have done differently, yes, there is. Oh, I would have made Summer stay right there with me.
Do you hear? That's bad acting right there. That's what I'm talking about. This is like a bunch of bad fucking actors. Is there anything I'd have done different? Yeah. I would have had Summer standing right there with me. Like she don't give a fuck, right? Like she don't give a fuck. Just, like, the words that come to the words that come to my mind right now is lying sorry ass bitch. Right? Lying sorry ass bitch. That's what's coming to my mind right now. It sickens me. It sickens me that she sits there and she talks about Summer so fucking nonchalant, right? Like, okay, you guys want me to care, so I'll act like I cared, but I fucking don't, and it's still in my voice, right? It's still in my voice. I don't. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how this bitch talks about her own child. You know? And it's sickening how she talks about her boys. I want to make sure I get my boysies back. I want to get my boysies back. That's disgusting. Who in the hell says stuff like that? It just sounds trifling to me. Just saying.
Oh my god. Ogre is some homeless man that I knew years and years ago. Donnie doesn't even know the guy. And Lisa and Ogre got together and decided to make up this big old bunch of lies that none of that crap even happened. Like, it doesn't even make no sense.
Lisa ain't the one lying. Candace, you are. You are the damn liar. You're trying to discredit Lisa because she's out there telling on you, Pam, and Donald. She's telling all about what was going on at Pam and Don's house that you brought your pregnant ass to and was laying around because you were pregnant. Is you knew that they only took you in because you was getting ready to have a kid. And you knew what they were doing to kids there and what they wanted the kid for. And you would have had a kid in that mess as well. The only reason you didn't is because the hospital, thank God, they took it. And you didn't get an opportunity to bring it there. But you were there. You knew exactly what was going on. You was there when the police showed up. You was there when those children got taken away for SA. You were there. And you ran off with Don Wells. As soon as all of that went down and he wanted to get the hell out of there to save his ass, you went with him. You went with him. You knew exactly what the hell, what kind of operation they was running. And you was okay with it. You were okay with it. You was okay with it in Arkansas, and you were okay with it on Ben Hill Road. That's why Don ran away with you. It's because you were okay with what they were already doing. And it's bitches like you he wants to affiliate himself with. Okay? Well, you ain't got no kids now. You shouldn't have ever had any, but you got none now. Not a damn one. At least your mama, at least your damn mama, mother freaking had you. And had her other daughter. And had Rose until Rose disappeared. You got nothing. You got nothing. Don Wells has his two older kids. He can go over into Arkansas and hang out with his daughter and grandkids whenever he wants to. He's got little Donnie and he's got his daughter, and he can talk to them, hang with them, go see them. He go up to Utah like he did before, hang around with little Donnie. You got nothing, Candace. You ain't got shit. Everything you had is gone, right? And it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. Absolutely not. How do you feel? Because Pam Wells, she lives out back of her son's house. Pamela Wells lives out back of her son's house. She's got her son and her grandkids, and she calls her daughter, FaceTimes with their daughter and their kids. She has everything. She walked into that stuff with Don Wells, and she walked out with her kids. You weren't that smart. You was not that smart, Candace. You walked in with Don Wells and you walking the hell out with nothing. With fucking nothing. And all you're finding out is nobody else wants you. Benny Keys don't want you. Hunter denies you grooming him. He denies ever being around an old hag like you. Benny Key denies having anything to do with you, even though we've seen him giving you a bath in the swimming pool, throwing you the soap. He denies it. Ernie denies it. I believe Ernie. I think he was running the other direction. He didn't trust you. But he didn't want it. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Candace. Not interested in you. You went over there to Dee Dee's house thinking you were going to have all of what Dee Dee had, just to find out that Fred didn't want you either. Right? He didn't want you either. He let you hang around for a while and tossed your ass to the curb. Ain't nobody wants your ass. Even Donnie don't want you. His ass is just stuck with you because nobody else wants his fucking ass either. Right? Nobody wants him. You and him are stuck because nobody else wants you. And when Donnie's no longer around, you ain't going to have no kids or anything else. You're probably not even going to have the property up there because I'm pretty sure Donnie is smart enough to have already made a will. And you're going to find out that it probably went to his oldest son. It went to his children. And you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting nothing. Because that's his property, not yours. You're going to be rolled off the hill just like all the rest of those people were. You're getting nothing. And why? Why is he going to leave everything to his kids? Because he knows what he's with. He knows exactly what he's with, Candace. He knows he's with a low-life piece of shit that didn't protect her kids against him and against weirdos that he wanted to bring around. He knows what you are. He knows that you have eyeballs for everybody else, for hunters, for the other little boy belonging to the other people. He knows that you were trying to get with Benny. You was trying to send him to jail so you could get with Benny sooner. You called the police on him, trying to get him in jail before he even supposed to went to jail because you wanted Benny so bad. Right? You won't ever be lonely, my Benny. Yeah. You made us all fucking tone deaf after we heard that. He knows that you was out running around with Ernie Shell. Well, he's in jail. You're trying to get with it. Right? He knows that you was over there laying around with Fred for weeks after his wife ended up gone. You think he's really going to let you have what his mother left him? Hell no. Hell no. That's why it's in his name, not yours. You're going to get the doghouse because Don Wells owns the shack, right?
I knew Lisa Kay and Ogre back when we were all homeless in Arkansas. And that was over 17 years ago. I have not, they do not, neither one of those.
Oh, Chris, thank you. Thank you very much.
Snow, me, or Donnie have not seen neither one of us. And we have not spoken to neither one of them. I spoke to Lisa, my bad. I spoke to, Lisa. One time when we went to Arkansas when Donnie was working. And she was saying how nice and lovely she missed me and blah, blah, blah. And then after we left, she went on to this, back to PG. Oh, Candace is this, Candace is that. It's all makeup. Yeah, that's all they do is start crap. I don't care. I don't watch them and don't pay attention to them, so it don't bother me.
Yeah, she said Lisa K when it's Lisa J. But I think she purposely did that. I think she purposely did that, if you ask me. But I'm going to tell you something. Candace knew Lisa J. Candace knew Ogre. And Dawn knew Ogre and Lisa. Lisa was, when Candace was at Dawn's and Pam's house, all pregnant, Lisa was there with her. Lisa and her baby was there when Candace's ass was there. Lisa was there when the law came in and shut that operation down. And so was Candace. Candace was right there too when they came in and shut it all down. They were all there. They were all there and they all know one another, right? They all know one another. They're, Candace is trying to hide from the fact that, she was part of the operation over in Arkansas. And she was A-O-fucking-K with it. Just like Lisa Jensen, right? Yeah. You have to be or you wouldn't be there. You have to be or your kid wouldn't have been took, right?
I'm at the store for less than that.
Don't go to any restaurant thinking you're going to get a steak for less than $26.
Right?
You don't even try to walk in there and try to get a steak. Shit. Isabella's going to charge
They're
you more
high.
than $26.
Yeah.
It's because they're authentic Italiano.
Yeah.
Hey,
tell him.
Hey, Ogre, how you doing, man?
Surviving and trying to eat.
I heard that. Hey, sounds like you got some good
It's the first thing I've had to eat all day.
Sounds like you.
And I'm hypoglycemic.
Hey, God bless you. God bless you with this good food. Man, I'm going to tell you, the Cracker Barrel, that's some good food right there.
Yep.
I mean,
what did Ogre think? What did Ogre think about White Boy trying to call him out for Donald? Did you tell him?
they just White Boy is trying to call me out. Donnie's trying to call me out also.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's not a wise thing, especially for someone who knows me like Donnie does.
Right.
I'm thinking the problem is Donnie forgot who the fuck he's talking about.
Hey, that's the truth.
But as soon as he sees my face, he'll be like, oh, nope, I have nothing to fucking say about that motherfucker. Fuck that shit, because that motherfucker will show up at my front fucking door. And he knows I will. I'll show up in fucking Tennessee at his fucking front door. But I won't show up alone. He's got too much family in that area. So I sure as hell won't show up alone. Show up with my family.
Did you hear him say Donnie had too much family? See, these people feel that their family isn't blood. Like, blood that you're born with. Your mom, dad, that kind of family. Their family is homeless people. They're like he's saying Don and Candace have too much family. He's talking about Fred, Laura's, Marlena Crawford's, Andy and Jody Sue's and Chad Arnold's and, you know, and all of these people. And that's what he's calling, you know, Don's family. He's saying, hey, I know you got, you know, all of these weirdos, you know, that's with you there. And over here, and, you know, Arkansas, you know, we got our family here too. You know, what he's saying is, you know, I've got people who, you know me, who I know, people, you know, that I hang with and it's going to have my back and come with me to do whatever. This is, you know, this is how these people generate. Everybody's their family that they can get, you know, to correspond with whatever, you know, type of living they're actually living. Like, for instance, Don lives an evil life, right? He was living it in Arkansas. Ogre must live a little bit of an evil life because he's like, you know, I'm going to be bringing people too. You know, it's like, you know, kind of like the West Side against the East Side, type thing, you know, and that's the way it was in Arkansas as well. You know, what I'm saying is when Don was in Arkansas, him and Pam, they had, you know, they had these people like Lisa J and Candace, and they had all these, you know, certain homeless people at that place, right? At Pam and Don's house. Ogre, you know, and others said, you know, we're not going to go and hang around, you know, that mother freaking cesspool from hell. That we know what's going on. We're not going to be caught up in that shit. You know, we're going to hang in a different place away from that kind of stuff. You know, we're bad, but we're not that bad. And we ain't getting caught up in that kind of, you know, that kind of criminal stuff. So they, you know, they were a whole different group than what Don and them was. And Don knew it. And you know, and that's why when Ogre came out, Don was trying to, you know, he was wanting to talk to Ogre. He was wanting to you know, get Ogre to call him, get Ogre to, you know, to correspond with him, because Don wanted to, you know, try to, you know, we were all homeless, you know, we're, you know, trying to somehow shut Ogre up and shut Ogre down, because Don knows that Ogre did know him, did know what was going on at his place. Like, you know, if you live in the hood, honey, you know what's going on everywhere, right? And you know every mother freaking dealer, you know every bitch, you know every skank, you know everything, right? You know where you can get what and what time you're able to get it and everything else, right? When you live in places like that, nothing's a secret. It's just how it is. And that's the kind of scum, bum place they were living as well. At that time, they didn't call it the hood. They called it the fucking ghetto. You know, I don't know, you know, the freaking slums, right? I told Lisa, white boy wants to, white boy and Donald want to talk. They can come to our channel. They can you know, Donald had an opportunity to come up and talk to you that one night, and you know,
White boy has the opportunity.
Oh, let me not open my camera so I can be pulled up on panel.
right?
He knows damn good and well he has to open that camera before he goes up on panel, and that's all public. And believe me, everybody on YouTube will be recording this.
Oh yeah.
every one of those creators will be recording this. And Tickle Pink and what is that other lady's name? Pam's always telling me to look up there on her deal.
Right.
And she loves recording it. She recorded it whenever PG booted me off the panel. She booted Pam off the panel. And she booted crazy ass Sherry off the panel. She said that her and Pam were really close. Then Pam pulled her crazy shit. And, that old hag was up there pointing at a piece of paper. And I was like, well, Pam takes pictures of everything. PG said, whoop, I'm kicking everybody off panel. She said, I just don't know what to think of Lisa.
And this is something the white boy needs to realize. If I do go on his panel today,
Hey, I'm the quietest one on panel.
oh no, that's not the thing, Lisa. That's not the thing. Because even if I go on under yours, as soon as one of my brothers hear my fucking voice, let white boy say something then.
Oh, white boy will get attacked. He'll run like a pussy anyway. He'll run off panel
He'll run
anyway.
over no damn
He'll be
panel.
like, whoop, nope.
That's what,
He did that the other night and swore Andrew got off a panel.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It wasn't Andrew got off a panel. It was PG closed all the avatars out, so he couldn't see Andrew still up there on panel.
So he couldn't see who was up there still.
Yeah.
well,
Once she closes those avatars, you can only see the names, but if she covers those avatars, you can't see no names up there.
right. And, well, I opened it back up. And Andrew was...
That's why you pay attention. That's why everybody's like, Lisa, why don't you talk on panel? Well, you know what? When you sit up there and you listen to a case...
I know. Ogre is not using a voice changer. Matter of fact, on this, nobody's ever heard this before. I was talking behind the scenes with Lisa and Ogre. This is a behind the scenes video. It hasn't ever been out here on YouTube. This is a behind the scenes video footage that nobody's ever heard. As creators, as YouTubers, I don't like to say creators because we only got one creator, and that's God Almighty. That's the only creator I got. I'm not a creator. God is. But YouTubers, out here in the YouTube world, YouTubers actually talk to all these people behind the scenes. We talk to these people a lot, like a whole lot, believe it or not. I mean, hours and hours of, speaking with these different people. And most of the time we don't bring it public. But the reason that this is being brought public is because Lisa was lying. She was lying, up on Brooke's panel and about Arkansas and about what was going on in that damn garage in that place that Don Wells, was holding all these people up in. So I brought this out to show you guys that she's a damn liar. This video mentions, what was going on there, and that they know it was mother freaking going on there. And Lisa was very well aware of, the essaying and all the stuff there. Yeah.
Going on and somebody talking about a case going on, then you get all this information in. You can be writing it down, whatever, but you take all of this information in.
You learn more.
You learn more. And that's what Pam didn't understand. Well, why ain't you up there talking on panel? Because whenever I'm up there and if I ain't talking to PG, then guess what? I pay attention to what PG's saying. She used to tell me I had my own channel to go over there.
Yeah, I thought that, get as many advocates out here for these missing kids as possible. I
Yes.
always want to get as many advocates as possible for the missing children. I mean, these kids need every voice they can get. And you hear all of those freaking cars going by, right? You hear all the vehicles going by because they're holding up signs, saying, help me, can't work, give me money, help me. That's what they do. That's what they do. And they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money doing it. And they're still homeless. They're still homeless. Where the hell is that money going? People, you got people in Justin's channel that ain't going to see mine. You got people in mine that ain't going to see Justin. They ain't going to see
Oh, yeah.
Sally. Every channel counts. Every channel
Yes.
counts because every channel brings in different people from all over the world. And
Yes.
and and the more channels we have and the more these children's pictures and their stories exposed, the better chance we have of this channel actually being found.
That's why when you put it up there on panel, you grab that phone and you put it up to that camera. That way you ain't got to download all that stuff.
Look at how many missing children were found on the milk cartons.
Yes.
Once upon a time, they used to put missing children on milk cartons. And that didn't only bring awareness to parents that, hey, your kid could disappear any second. But it also brought a lot of eyes, on each one of those milk cartons that solved a lot of cases because people were calling in like, hey, Italian Cookie, you're not interrupting, sweetie, at all. I'm sorry to hear that that you missed your step. Oh man, I'm going to tell you, I've missed a step or two myself, right? And let me tell you, it hurts. Hey, I know this kid. I've seen this kid, and it was bringing a lot of kids home.
New York still uses the milk cartons to put out missing children pictures, but they also use Amber Alert and
Yes.
the other freaking networks.
Yes.
I haven't seen. Actually, can you even buy a carton of milk anymore?
I don't know. I've not seen one in a long time.
I'm going to tell you, the only milk cartons I ever seen was at school. At school, they had milk cartons at school. Little tiny ones, remember?
Yeah.
Your milk. And, hell, girl. Like, you can, like you can get juice. You can get juice in a milk carton. You can get, lemonade. Italian Cookie. She said, she takes Advil and Biofreeze with, I can't be saying that name, but anyway, anyhow, yeah, that would be a good thing out here. But anyway, children's Advil, I'm telling you, the children's Advil. Even doctors will tell you that the children's kind is actually better than the adult, for, easing up pain. And, you should try that. You should try that. It don't take much. You should try that because it might help, it might help. made in a milk carton. You can get,
Yeah.
and you can get that, like, what is that shit? Almond milk and stuff, that weird milk
Yep.
in the cartons. But you don't, I haven't seen a real regular milk carton. I don't think, my whole life, I don't think I've ever seen one.
Right.
They do have it. They do have them. The reason I know is because I study history, and the missing milk cartons, like on the internet, and then they had a Lifetime movie about the one little boy that got, some woman kidnapped him and took him to her parents, and her parents thought it was her child, ended up raising it. I don't know if you're aware of that case. Yeah, these parents thought that it was their grandchild, and they raised this baby for years. From the time it was like real little, raised it, and believe it or not, find out their daughter had kidnapped someone's child, brought it to them, and left it on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their daughter ended up ODing or something. Somehow she ended up dying. And for all those years, they thought that was their daughter's child. And they sent the child on one of them milk cartons. And that's how it got. Well, it got put back with his parents, but it didn't like them. Because he had I think a brother and a sister, a couple sisters and a brother. Anyway, he had some siblings, and his siblings kept saying, "Do you know how hard it was for us because you came up missing? Do you understand what we had to go through because you know?" And I just want to go back to these people that raised me. I don't want to even be with you. So the family took him back, gave him back to the grandparents. Because they didn't know the child.
Hey, ask Ogre about these homeless people that Donnie and Candace would bring home with them.
Oh, no. Don't you didn't answer that.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
The tents in the yard, all of that.
No, you didn't answer that one.
What did he say?
He said, don't get him into that one.
Oh, do tell.
That's a whole nother different pot of freaking worms.
Oh, tell me.
These people, this lady texted me on a notification on YouTube and sat there and told me that she didn't believe any story that anybody came out with the wills. And I can get a screenshot of that shit too. 120 acres. Okay, well, she reminded me the other day, we were talking about the address. And she's like, oh, well, I don't believe what you said. And
Stephanie said, why would she kidnap a kid for her parents to raise? And she didn't kidnap it for her parents to raise. She kidnapped the child because she wanted to go back to her parents' house. And she was afraid they wouldn't accept her. See, she used illegal substances. She was a real problem. The parents really wanted nothing to do with her. They hadn't had nothing to do with her for a long, long time because of the way she was. And she felt by showing up with the child, that would get the door opened for her to come in. And she had planned on trying to clean her life up and change her life and stay with her parents, stay at her parents' house for a while. And she felt the child pretending this is her child, it would get the door open, and her a place to be able to lodge for for a long time. And she found once she was there, the child did get the door open, and she was welcomed in with the child, and it did get her a place to stay, and she could have stayed probably as long as she wanted, because the grandparents liked the kid, worried about the kid, wanting to watch over the kid that they believed was hers. And like all, or most all, substance abuse users like that, she just packed up and went, one morning they got up, the kid's there and she's gone, and back to out to where she came from and what she was originally doing. She just couldn't stay clean. And so she did leave the kid behind, and was out there, and they just assumed she would come back and forth. And the next thing when she went back out there, I guess a doctor probably told her that if you continue to do this, you're going to be gone. Because after so much substance abuse, that's what the doctor tells you. Your body is not going to be able to sustain another bolt of what you've been doing. And you probably will not make it, if you continue to do it. And so, but she went back, she continued, and didn't make it, And a lot of them don't. And most of the time they're told, that they need to stop. Because they won't be able to, their body can't sustain what they're doing. And that, it's not going to take much to off them after they've had a couple bolts of, resuscitation. So anyway, she, they wasn't able to resuscitate, and she was gone, and here the child was, and they just assumed it was hers, and yet they ended up raising it. But she really took it just to get her parents' door open, so she'd have a place, a place to be. That's, that was the reason.
About any of that kind of junk, and you hanging out with the Wells and this guy living up on the roof, I don't give a fuck what she believes. I was there. I know it happened.
Now, did you guys hear that? Let me go back, because she says the guy up on the roof. Listen. Because he didn't know the joke.
$125.
Hey, ask Ogre about these homeless people that Donnie and Candace would bring home with them.
Oh, no. Don't get me into that.
Yeah, tell me.
The tents in the yard, all of that.
Tents in the yard and all of that. Now you heard her.
No, get me into that one.
What did he say?
He said, don't get him into that one.
Oh, do tell.
That's a whole nother different pot of freaking worms.
Oh, tell me.
These people, this lady texted me on a notification on YouTube and sat there and told me that she didn't believe any story that anybody came out with the Wells. And I can get a screenshot of that shit too. 120 acres. Okay, well, she reminded me the other day, we were talking about the address. And she's like, oh, well, I don't believe what you said and about any of that kind of junk, and you hanging out with the Wells and this guy living up on the roof. I don't give a fuck what she...
The guy living up on the roof, right there. The guy living up on the roof. I told you. They had a guy up on the roof. Keep him watch. Because of what, what operation they were running in and out of that place.
She believes I was there. I know it happened.
You know,
I know it fucking happened.
you know, oh, she does, because she was there, right? She was there when it happened. She lost her child through, you know, when law enforcement came in, she lost her baby, because her baby was one of them that they took out because these kids were being essayed, right? Her baby was taken and was not ever given back to her, was not given back. Now, these people don't come from hoods. They don't come from areas. They don't understand.
So she can believe whatever the fuck she want to believe.
You know,
She doesn't have.
yeah, the roof in Arkansas. That's where Don and Pam was running. Where Don and Pam was actually bringing in these people. They were bringing in all these homeless girls and people with kids, and keeping them. They were keeping them, and they had a clientele coming in and out of there. Don and Pam had a clientele coming in and out of there. You know, essayers, and they were taking these children. They were taking these children off and doing bad things to them. And somehow law enforcement got wind of it. They came in. They did a sweep. They came in, and Lisa was there, and other people were there, and they came in and they took all of these kids out of there. And these kids had been, you know, used, abused, essayed, terrible, just terrible. And I'm going to tell you what. And when they took them all out of there, they found out that these babies had been done like this. Not just Lisa's baby, which was a little boy, but there was a lot of other kids taken as well. And they all had been done like this. And they didn't get their kids back. Lisa did not ever get her baby back, ever. And she got all of her other kids took too.
To believe anything, I don't give a fuck. But I've got all the motherfucking paperwork on that shit. Mm-hmm.
They don't
That there is a whole other different channel for the world.
tell.
The homeless.
They had those. Yes, they had those homeless people.
That's what I'm saying. That's a whole other can of worms.
They had them across the fucking yard, and they still had them. Even Jody Sue even got up on panel and said the Wells brought homeless people home with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Allie said that Candace picked a man up and took him
Oh,
home.
yes.
We'll see.
Even the women with the children and the families with the children.
That
Now,
ogre.
remember when Donnie was actually a
You heard her. Even women with children.
straight and narrow when he was around Big Albert? Remember
yeah?
Albert? Big Albert? That's the only time Donnie was straight and fucking narrow.
Well, yeah.
Was when he was around, because Al would have buried his fucking ass. And he
Yes.
knows it.
Yes.
Because Al had kids.
Okay,
And he
like-
let Donnie staying with him.
Yeah, remember that whenever Donnie and Candace, when Pam threw them out and they lived in that fucking van for a while? Yeah. I found out that Donnie and Candace attacked that lady that let them stay there. Oh, yeah.
And that's when Candace was pregnant with her oldest son, the oldest boy. Her and Don, that she's talking about the lady that let Candace and Don move in, and Don and Candace trapped her at the refrigerator. In her own house, they trapped her. She was scared for her life. A friend of hers happened to just walk in the door and see what was going on and went and got law enforcement. And the woman had to actually kind of, run at Candace in order to get free, to try to, get to safety. And Don and Candace tried to take over her house. They tried to take over her home. They put her out and them stay in her home. And they don't know what, the woman who walked in on it all and the woman who it happened to said they don't know what Don and Candace, what could have happened if it didn't go the way it did. If the friend wouldn't have got law enforcement, they don't know what would have happened. They said that Don and Candace was very dangerous. Very dangerous. And the woman was scared for her life.
Candace can't bring her ass up on panel. She will not pull her ass up there on panel. If Donnie's not up her ass, she will not pull her ass up on panel.
Why do you
He has to be right there with her.
why do you think
I don't
that is?
And they're writing all kinds of crazy shit in the fucking back chat like nobody knows it's them, right?
I don't know about that. She accepted my friend request.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. She accepted my friend request.
Question her about
Really?
Summer and see how quick that bitch runs.
Oh, she won't, not for me.
Oh.
See, Uger saying, no, she don't need Donnie. She don't need Donnie. He's telling the truth. Why did he-
Oh. She runs off a panel. If anybody in a chat says, "Where is Summer?" that bitch is fucking gone if she's up on panel.
Now, the difference,
Poof.
Lisa, you got to remember though, difference between all them people and me is at one point in time, Candace wanted to be with me.
Right. But Candace is up there with Donnie now. Donnie controls every fucking move Candace makes, especially now that he's tightened down on her. And I noticed one thing whenever Candace went out to Daisy's, right? What was it, last year for Easter, as a matter of fact. Daisy was running her mouth about Smiley. So Daisy went over there and got on, Smiley wanted Daisy on panel with her to talk to her, okay? Well, Daisy went and got on panel with Smiley. Daisy was talking to Smiley about Candace being over there, and Daisy said that Candace said that he did it. And ever since then, Donnie has not let her go back over there.
Exactly. And he won't.
No, he won't, because he
He
knows.
knows damn well
He knows.
she is not within his supervision.
She get.
Damn thing.
I don't know. He was locked up in jail for 9 months, and she still didn't talk. But she let little bits and pieces slip out, and she didn't even realize she was doing it because she was drunk and high.
That's right. She was locked up for 9 months, Lisa. Don Wells was locked up for 9 months. Candace was free as a bird. She could have told everything. She had plenty of opportunity to tell everything that went down, everything that happened, but she didn't. She didn't. Why? Because she's protecting her ass. She's the one that got up early that morning, used Grandma's knee to go into Kingsport to pick up Hunter. Then they went to the swimming hole where we already, in my opinion, she got Hunter to destroy that little girl because something bad had happened, right? As she said, if they wouldn't have hurt her like that if I would have been there. Summer was sick. Somebody hurt her and hurt her in a way that you're going to go to prison if you take her to a hospital or try to get it fixed. So Candace decided, and Dawn and Grandis, we got to do something. We got to do something because you ain't going to be, if Summer became unalived because of what happened to her. You can't call law enforcement. You can't let them come and take her to a hospital and examine her. Because when they examine her, they're going to understand what the hell was going on and what, and what hurt her to cause her to become unalived. And somebody's going to prison, right? Somebody's going to go to prison because she should have been in a hospital long before he ended up unalived. So they couldn't, take her to a hospital, try to get it fixed. And they couldn't wait until, it got so bad she was gone. And anywhere it went, they just couldn't do it. So they went to that swimming hole where, where at the water hole, got Hunter to, to go out there where nobody's going to, you can't hear nobody scream underwater. You can't hear a scream underwater. I mean, and she's a kid. Nobody's going to, nobody's going to think anything, if you're carrying a kid back to a vehicle, a 5-year-old child, people carry 5-year-old children all the time, to vehicles. The walk gets too long for them and so forth and so on. And, a lot of kids just like to be carried. So when they carried her back and stuck her in a vehicle, all wet, over there on a pillow against the driver's side door, nobody would have thought nothing of it. Seeing that it was isolated, nobody's seen anything anyway. They were lucky there. But even if someone would have seen, it wouldn't have meant nothing because, she's a little child and children get carried all the time. So, they picked the perfect place where, it wasn't going to be heard, and they could pack her back to the vehicle. They could take her to Allison's, clean her up, dress her, and do what they did. It was a perfect plan. It was a perfect plan to save their asses from going to prison. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep that. But Candace had plenty of time to, 9 months to tell the truth that she wasn't telling. Why? Because it would be her and Grandis going to prison. They're the ones that took Hunter to the swimming hole. They're the ones that actually, did everything. Don's ass was hiding at work. He was hiding at work. He had no hand in what they did at that swimming hole. Other than suggesting it and helping to plan it out. But he wasn't there. He wasn't there. He wasn't executing that plan. Right? So the ones that's going to really get hard time is Hunter, Grandis, and Candace. There you go. And in my opinion, that's exactly what they done.
A normal thing, walk around all drunk and high.
See, and that's the other day when back when I moved in this, she moved from the
And then they want to jump up on YouTube and hop. And I've noticed Pam's been panel hopping again. But anyway, she's crazy anyway. But I'm just wondering how long it's going to take her to talk about Miss Ann like that.
That's my request. Those are the I sent it. Friendship request accepted. Instant.
What, Taz?
Candace.
Well, she's got several accounts on there.
Under Candace, Blind, and
Oh, absolutely, Stephanie. Absolutely. He had all to do. Don Wells had all to do with using and abusing and destroying Little Summer. What I'm saying is, Little Summer was destroyed before she ever went to that swimming hole. That was the final destruction. But when we seen her all bent over, we seen her having to hold on to Marlena's daughter to get around. When we seen her brother have to get her up from the slide because she couldn't get up, didn't have enough in her to get up on her own. When we was viewing and seeing all this stuff, she was sick. What I'm saying is they already destroyed her. She was destroyed right then and there. Right? It was just a matter of time. And they didn't want to wait. They didn't want to wait because they felt there was an opening. They felt there was an opening, to get it done. And they did it. And they did it. And I'm going to tell you something. their case with CPS was not closed. There was no CPS worker there on the 14th. There's no CPS there on the 15th. There was no CPS worker anywhere around there and hadn't been. And their case was still open when Summer came up missing. And I believe that, that's what pushed them to do it when they did, because the caseworker was coming back. And Summer was, and Summer was so sick, the caseworker was going to take note and want her to be, and want her to be took to a hospital ASAP. And they just couldn't risk. They could not risk, what would happen to them if they didn't do something quick. They were pressed. They were pressed for time. And that case was not closed. Don Wells is a fucking liar.
She accepted under both Candace Bly and Candace Wells. She accepted both friend requests.
You know what? If that case was closed, why don't they show the paperwork? I tell you why they didn't show the paperwork. Because anytime CPS closes a case, the parents get paperwork. Your case has been closed. Donnie and Candace ain't showing the paperwork. You know why? Because they were fucking liars. The case was still opened. That's why they ain't never showed the paperwork. And not only that, just like they didn't ever show the lie detector's test. They didn't pass no damn lie detector's test. If they passed, they would have had their asses out here. They'd have had their asses out here showing it off like they did the letter after their kids were took and there was no children to take because they already been signed over to Child Protective Services, right? Over to the state. And there wasn't anything to take, and Summer still hadn't been found. And they went to court, and there's no kids involved, and the system just don't want to waste up the taxpayers' money anymore. And they got, that letter that, closed them out. Like, we're just not going to deal with you anymore. You gave everything up to void prosecution. So we're not prosecuting you. And that's pretty much what the letter says. We're not prosecuting your ass because kids are already gone. So there is no kids to worry about. They come running out with the letter, right? Trying to gaslight us with some bullshit. We all knew what it was. And they were trying to gaslight us. Because this is how they are. And if they had, if the case was closed, they'd have proved it. They'd have showed proof. Don would have, either sent the information over to Cher to show, or he would have held it up when he was on Cher's panel, right? He'd have just held it up for everybody to see. The case was closed before Summer came up missing. No, he didn't show anything because he's a fucking liar. And the case was wide open and they were scared. They were scared and they was needing to get something done. And they did it. That's exactly what happened, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
It's
They
stupid.
did it.
So
Well, let me tell you something.
She still remembers me.
When Candace wanted to contact me so fucking bad, when her and Donnie got down here, and she wanted to contact me so fucking bad and drug me up in the middle of her fucking bullshit, okay? Whatever was going on, okay?
That's what you did.
PG's putting it out here that me and Donnie and Candace are taking off with some woman that I've never seen in my life, okay? Well, Pam's talking and running her mouth, so she's having to bring all this out. She's like, I don't know what to think of that, you know?
Something else I thought about. I think both
No. What
You know,
happened?
I'm sitting here like, more than likely, Donnie's the one who told her to accept my friend request because he's wanting to be there when I'm talking with him so that he can confront me. I'm like, I'm not what he wants to confront.
What happened?
No, what happened was Lisa or Beth Ann, Pam Pam said, this is Pam said. Pam contacted me, sent me some pictures of some weird ass pedophile man.
Oh, yes.
That's what she
That weirdo.
She said that you called her trying to get her. Here's what was said. You called her to do Candace, that you've been talking to Candace. And you and Beth Ann have been somehow talking to Candace. And
Me and Beth Ann talked to Candace one time. That's when she planned that fucking vigil for us to meet up to go have that vigil at the park.
which didn't happen.
And then Beth Ann was texting her. I got all the text messages that Beth Ann texted her. Oh, yes.
But the vigil didn't happen, right?
No.
There you go. And this was when Dawn and Candace was in Arkansas. This is when the girl and her 3 children disappeared from that hotel. Lisa was lying. She's lying. See, she tried to act like she wasn't contacting Donald and Candace and all of this stuff, but she did. She did. And they were corresponding while they were over there. And Lisa had gotten a hold of this guy right there with the glasses on at the very bottom, last picture at the bottom. This guy is an RSO right there. And Lisa, this is the guy she had contacted at the time that this woman and her children disappeared. She was talking with this man right here. And there is the girl with her at the top of the Candace is sitting there. There's the girl at the top of the staircase, holding one of her children. And she had 2 other little children there. And this is when Candace and Lisa were corresponding together. And Candace wanted Lisa to send law enforcement to the hotel to check Dawn's room. Because, in my opinion, they were getting ready to do something to this girl and her children. And they had done contact this man. So Lisa didn't want to do it because she didn't want it traced back to her. So she called Pam to do it. Pam said, I'm not doing it, but maybe Beth Ann will. So they got Beth Ann on a 3-way call, and Beth Ann made the phone call and sent law enforcement to the hotel. And Candace was outside knowing they're already coming. She already knew they're coming. So she's sitting outside waiting for them to come. And when they got there, she was talking to Jinkies. She made sure she was outside. She made sure she was, talking with Jinkies. And she took them into the room because she wanted it all, all out there. And if you notice, she made sure that she didn't turn off the video or anything. She, let everybody see that they went into the room. Nobody was in the room. She was wanting to clear herself. She wanted to be able, if anybody started questioning what happened to this woman and her 3 kids, Candace wanted to be able to say, law enforcement came to our hotel. They checked our room. That woman and her kids wasn't nowhere around us. But Candace fucked up when she kept, when she kept, talking to Jinkies, and this mother came down the staircase behind her. Look at Candace's face, like, oh shit. And here she comes down, and Candace looks at her and says, everything, it's all right, saying that they're gone now, right? But this was on video too. So we know this mother was coming back down and to hang around Candace and Dawn, who had been befriending her and letting her and the kids stay in their room and all kinds of stuff. There was even toys in that room. And Candace said, oh, those belong to our grandkids. their mom comes down here. Their mom comes in here, right? Saying they belong to grandkids. But no, it's these kids. They had these kids in this. And what they did is they told this woman, they met up with Lisa at a church. You'll hear it. They met up with Lisa at a church. And I believe this man right here. And I think Don and Candace told this lady, you know, do you want to go to this church to get free food and stuff? And they went to the church, but this lady didn't ever come back with them. I think at that church, something happened. And her kids ain't been seen since. Just saying.
It didn't happen. She wanted to meet up at the church. I said, okay. Oh, yeah, you should have been.
Yes, Candace wanted Lisa to have her and Dawn's room searched. Yes.
Up there. Oh, yeah.
But then she didn't want to.
Pam brings
That's what I heard.
an innocent fucking man that knew nothing about the Wells, that didn't even know the Wells, and throws this guy into.
Yeah, he didn't know the Wells. He lives right there in Arkansas. He's an RSO. You mother freakers seem to know all of the RSOs around there. Shut up, Lisa.
This situation, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Oh, well, let's just bring this man out here on panel. He doesn't know the Wells. He doesn't know anything about the Wells. He doesn't know anything about a missing child.
Basically, threw his ass under the fucking bus.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you hear Ogre? He said that that Pam threw him under the bus. Threw this guy under the bus. Yes, she did, and she should have. She should have, because I got a feeling some real weird shit went on, and they really need to answer. They really need to answer for their evil shit.
For what? The man, PG didn't know he didn't know the Wells, though.
I knew nothing except what
this dude was like contacting me and trying to get me to go stay with him for a whole fucking week. And I'm like, no, dude, no. And then finally I blocked him. And then finally I had to change my number. So there was no way that he could contact me. And then I had to change my Facebook thing. So there was still no way he could contact me. I don't want something like that contacting me.
Damn. That is not true. That is not true. She was telling me this, but I knew it wasn't true because she had been talking to Beth Ann and Pam about how, you know, she's with this guy and knows this guy and, you know, been talking and contacting and, you know, meeting up with this guy. So that was bullshit. Sounds like he was coming through the cracks to get you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I told her, sounds like he's coming through the cracks to get you. No, she had him set up.
I'm telling you, I've had to go to the police department. I've had to call his detective to get them to tell him to leave me alone. I went through every fucking step that I could take. And whenever I finally changed my number, there you go.
Damn. Listen, you said that Ogre was telling you about Don and Candace bringing a bunch of homeless people with children to the house.
No. Ogre knew about that. But that's what they were doing. They would go up to the churches and get all of these people that were homeless at different times to go to their house. Everybody knew about that.
You hear that? Everybody knew. They go get the homeless people to go to their house. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Ogre even knew about that.
Yeah, I say fine. I fuck away from that motherfucker.
Well, I don't blame you.
What was
Because that fucking place costed me to lose my child.
The only time
Yeah. See? They're talking about Arkansas. She said that effing place made me lose my child. No. That effing place did not make you lose your child. You made you lose your child for having your child at that effing place. Don't blame Don and Candace. Don't blame Don and Pam. Don't blame that place. Blame your damn self. You voluntarily took your ass and your baby there and allowed whatever happened to happen. You did that. She don't want to take self-blame. That's the problem with evil people. You ever take note? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever took note that fucking evil people don't want to take self-blame. It's everybody's damn fault except theirs. It's everybody's fault. It's their parents, it's their siblings, it's their friends, it's every fucking thing but them. They don't know how to take self-blame, right? Motherfuckers don't think right. Yeah.
I was around Donnie is when Albert was around him.
Who's
Because I knew damn well that Donnie.
I don't know.
That Donnie
Oh, this
was
big,
trying to
huge
be
guy that
huge.
I haven't seen in years.
what was Donnie to
What was Donnie to Albert?
Donnie had served with Albert's brother. Prison.
Oh, okay, so
When Donnie got out of prison, Albert's brother had referred him to go talk to his brother.
now Candace sit there and lied. She said she don't know that Donnie don't know Ogre. Right? You heard her earlier. Donnie doesn't even know Ogre. Hell yes, he does. Donnie knows Ogre. Ogre knew that Donnie was in jail, knew he was on probation, knew he went to this man to ask for work because Ogre was working for this man too. Ogre was working for the man too. And that's how Ogre got to know Donnie and all of Donnie's bullshit and everything Donnie was up to and doing after that. And running that shithole operation over there at that house with the garage and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
So they work and everything. Not a problem. Albert put him to work. Refurbishing houses and shit. But Albert told him plain and simple, you keep your fucking nose clean, because the first time you do something that I even think is off kilter, I'm sending your ass back.
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie's like, huh? He's like, I'll send your ass fucking back to prison. Like, you don't have, he's like, oh, you think I don't have that power? Hello? You were released from prison with the prison having knowledge that you were coming to work for me. I do have that power.
That motherfucker left Tennessee on probation. So what made dude think that he was gonna stay anywhere? He gets himself in trouble in Utah. He gets himself in trouble probably in Texas. He gets himself in Arkansas. He got himself.
Did you hear that? Did you hear Lisa? Did you hear tell you at every mother freaking place Don Wells was affiliated with? Did you hear her mention every fucking state that Don Wells is affiliated with except California, where he went out there, remember, and went to some lady's house who was trafficking children? Remember that? Put a 2 in the chat if you remember Don talking about when he was driving a truck and he went through California and met some little girl and he takes her to this house and they're trafficking little boys too. Right? Yeah. She mentions every damn thing. These motherfuckers definitely know one another.
In Arkansas. Yep.
Let me finish. Here in Fayetteville, when he was around Albert, he didn't get in a single goddamn bit of fucking trouble.
Here, talk to Peachy. I'm gonna go get me something to eat.
I do.
What happened between him and Albert?
Donnie got done doing the amount of time, service he had to do, and he went his separate way.
See? when he was working for Tank, that's what they called Albert, Tank. When he was working for Tank, um, Tank was making sure Don stayed on the straight and narrow, and Don didn't like that. He knew Tank was watching his ass, and he better not hear nothing, or he would call, literally call it in and have Don's ass sent back to prison. So Don stayed on the straight and narrow with Tank until his probation was over, and then he quit. He quit the very day that his probation was up, and went back to his, his regular, the stuff he likes to do, run his little operation with Pam, which he was running with, Candace up there on Ben Hill, because that's what Don liked to do. That's what was bringing in a lot of clientele and a lot of money, right? You got a lot of sick people out there. You got a lot of sick human beings in this world. And there is a very large clientele for sickos. And I'm going to tell you, Don and Candace seem to know them all. They seem to know them all. And so does Lisa J.
He got out from underneath Donnie's thumb because he knew damn well if Donnie found out that he was doing anything fucking illegal, even if it was just jaywalking, then Albert would have his ass sent back to fucking prison.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Albert is a strict motherfucker.
Right.
And he's built like a freaking tank.
What was you talking about? It's a different can of worms about kids running.
The homeless staying on Donnie's property and his family's property and everything, and missing kids, they're two different cans of worms. I mean, homeless people, I'm sorry, if they're stupid enough to go out there, that's their own stupidity. Children cannot defend themselves.
Right.
Adults can.
Right. But they had a lot of children.
Yeah. Yes. But with the adults around a lot of the time, Donnie wouldn't do shit.
A lot of those children were, to my understanding, taken away because of SA charges.
Yeah.
Abuse upon those babies. And supposedly these babies were, at Donnie's house. Him and Pam, and this was all going down at their residence.
Seriously, traffic? Now, the thing is, though, and this is what I mean by it's a whole different can of worms. Yes, children were being abused.
Yeah, they sure were.
But with their parents being there, if their parents had admitted to any goddamn thing, then kids wouldn't have been abused.
There you have it. There you have it. Yes, he said they were there. Yes, they were being abused, right? He said, but if the parents, here's the thing, if the parents went ahead of them there, they wouldn't have been being abused. He knew what was going on at that house. Maybe he was the one that reported it. I don't know who reported it. I just know law enforcement came in. They had like a raid on that place. And they arrested a couple of RSOs right then and there in the act. And they took away a bunch of children who had been being done like this. The parents did not get them back. And it was all at Pam's and Donald's house over in Arkansas. And there you have it. You heard me telling these kids were being done like this. They were being done like this. Well, if there was certain adults around, Donnie wouldn't do it. Basically, he's saying if adults like me that don't go along with that shit was there, Donnie wouldn't, he would tell everybody, stay in place. But we knew what was going on. We knew that this stuff's going on. You know, when we're not around, we knew what was going down. And if those, and like he said, if those parents are stupid enough to go over there and they're stupid enough to allow this to be going on with their kids, that's on them, right? There you go. And that's true, Carrie. That's true. Well, I don't know because Justin, covers Summer's case if there ain't a big case. Like, like he went from Summer's case to Sebastian. And then he went back to, then he went to back to Summer's case for a minute, but then Jack and Lily. And then he went to Jack and Lily's case. And then, he went back to Summer for a minute. And then he went to Nancy Guthrie's case, right? If there's not a big case that's, blowing up and getting a whole lot of attention and everybody's running to it, the other creators, cover Summer. Crime Lines and Lies covers Summer a lot. She actually covers Michael Vaughn too. She covers the the older cases as well. And Smalley covers, Summer's case and the older cases, like Michael and Jack and Lily, the ones that's been left behind, right? The ones, and Sebastian, the ones that's been left behind. Every time a new case comes, like Nancy Guthrie's case right now is like big, right? It's big. Everybody's running to it, but it's not big anymore. It's kind of like, law enforcement's pulled back. You're not, the family saying, they don't want to talk no more. They don't want, they're starting to, ask people not to be around the property, not to, they're basically trying to shut it down. And there's not a whole lot to be had on Nancy's case anymore. So, a lot of the creators is, trying to filter somewhere else, what can we go back to? You're going to have a lot of them go back to Jack and Lily. You're probably going to have a few try to rehash on Sebastian Rogers. Summer's case don't need rehash because we keep it on the forefront, right? We keep it out here, we keep it on the forefront. And you're right, we don't let it go cold. We don't let it, run on the sideline and sit there until somebody, decides that to pick it back up because what they were on, is pretty much been ran into the mud and at a standstill, and nobody's really tuning in for it anymore. So they tried to rehash and re-dramatize an old case. If they can hold your attention with it. But that's the way it is. What happened to Sebastian? What happened to Sebastian? You have people, what I'm saying is when the case is big and everything, and they got a lot to talk about, and they can pull a lot of, click, likes, and views in there. Sebastian's their world, and they care so much about Sebastian, and they want him back, and they're not going to give up until he is. Well, they all gave up, didn't they? They've all gave up. You don't hardly hear of Sebastian anymore at all. The one they so loved, meant so much to them, you don't even hear about, here and maybe there. Emmanuel, you don't hear nothing, nothing about Emmanuel. Emmanuel went big for a minute and that's it. I hate to say it, but these kids mean a lot. They mean a lot to, they mean a lot to the ones who really care about missing kids, but they don't mean anything to the people just, trying to make what they can off of them. You got a lot of people just, you know, they're using these missing kids, for click, likes, and views. They're paying their fucking bills off the back of missing children. And they really don't care about them at all, right? They really don't care. They leave them in the dust. As soon as the click, likes, and views start to slow down, they leave those kids in the dust and go to the next case. What can make, what can keep their fucking lights on, right? What can keep their lights on? That's just how it is out here. And, it's the truth. And what can you say? What can you say? They're here for the wrong reasons. They're here for the wrong reasons. And, that's between them and God, not, put it this way. I'm glad I'm not them. I'm glad I am not them. I'm not going to chase everything that, that's just out here going big. I cover everything. Yes. I talked about Nancy's case, because it's sad. It's sad that, and it was rare. It was like super rare, and yeah, I was interested in it. And of course I mentioned it and brought it to the forefront, but I also kept Summer in the spotlight as well, right? I keep Summer in the spotlight as well because, she's the whole reason for this channel. She's the whole reason for this channel. If I would have picked up Sebastian's case, with Summer's case, we'd still be on it. When I picked up Quentin's case, and I covered Quentin all the way up until he was found, and even after he was found. I actually covered when Leilani, when Leilani was in court and when she was, prosecuted and everything. I covered Quentin all the way to the end, and along with Summer. And that's what you're supposed to do. That you don't give up on one kid just to cover another kid. You cover them both together. You keep them both in the spotlight, and you this panel up here is big enough to cover, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, and I covered, Jack and Lily's case, and I still keep up with Jack and Lily's case. They haven't been found yet. Their case is at a standstill right now. There's not a lot of movement. I think I brought to you guys the last movement when the stepdad had, gotten into some trouble, and there was supposed to possibly be some kind of, break for Jack and Lily, and which didn't happen. So, but I still keep up with it. I still bring it, bring whatever I can find about Jack and Lily to the forefront, if it's something that might lead to something, I bring it out here. And I still do that, while I'm covering Summer. And, I didn't let Jack and Lily sit on the sideline. When something happens in the case, I come out here and I say, hey, this is what's going on here, and this is what's going on there. Sometimes, sometimes I will have, a couple of people, like, I was bringing what happened to Nancy out here, and I was bringing what happened to Summer, and I was bringing what, little Genesis. Like, nobody hardly covered Genesis at all. The little girl that, they believe the mother took to a garbage can on Christmas, right? On Christmas Day, in a duffel bag. And nobody really kept up with that case, or, or really covered it, but we've kept up with it. The last few weeks ago, they were out searching the landfill. They're bringing in special people to search the landfill, and they're looking for that bag, but they ain't found anything yet. So, but if they do, we'll have it out here, right? We'll have it out here. We don't give up on a kid. You just don't give up on a child. But it happens. It happens out here. You guys, I don't need to tell you guys how it is. You know how it is. And to be honest with you, it's pretty fucking sad. It's pretty sad. It bothers me. It bothers me that people are allowed to do what they do in this community. By using these kids, using missing people to they basically to exploit. That's the word for it. So the question is, are they really any better? Are they any better than the savages that do the evil stuff to the child, for them to be able to exploit it? I don't know. That's a question for God, not PG. All I know is, this channel, all I know about is this channel. And this channel, I can only answer for this one. God ain't going to ask me about anybody else's channel. He's going to ask me about this one right here. And, and I'll have to say, hey, it wasn't even something that I would do. I don't know why it was there, right? I don't know why it was there, Lord. All I know is I had information I wanted to put out. Next thing I know, I got a channel for this little girl. I have to tell God, I assumed you had me open this channel up for this baby. That's what I felt. That's what I felt. I felt that you had me open it up for Summer, and I've been running it for Summer, and I've been doing the best I can, for this little girl and any other missing children or people we cover. And I don't ask for nothing. I don't ask for anything. Just for the people to be a voice for the children and to do righteous in the sight of God, for the babies. And that's about all I ask, right? I just ask for these people to truly care, and I believe they do. And it's in my chat anyway. In my chat, I truly believe that. And I feel that, we just wanted the answers, and the babies found and brought home, and justice served, on these children's behalf, because without getting the justice, you don't get the evil people off the street, and more children can become victims. More people can become victims. If someone's evil enough to do that to a child, then they're going to do it again. They're evil enough to keep doing it. And we need that stuff out of our society. And I'm sure God will understand, right? I'm sure he'll understand. But I'll have to answer for this one. And I'll have to say, yeah, I did cuss some. That's true. But I'd have to tell God, to be honest with you, Lord, I think what these people do would make a preacher cuss. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it, Lord, that it would make a preacher cuss. Because they done some horrific stuff to little children who didn't deserve it, couldn't defend themselves. They put them through misery, pain, suffering. That was just horrible. Just horrible. It's hard for all of us to even understand that someone could be that evil. And yeah, we were seeking answers. We wanted answers. Because those children deserved the answers, right? And that's what I would have to say. You know, I was trying to do all righteous. I don't know what other people were doing, but I was trying to do all righteous. Nothing more, nothing less. I got to answer for, I got to answer for PG. I thank God I don't have to answer for anyone else. Would I run to a case? Would I run to a case for the click, likes, and views? No. God knows our hearts. He knows our hearts. He knows that, I started this channel for summer. I didn't care if there's one person or 100 in here. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to, to help this little girl. I wanted to tell what I knew. I wanted to let people know how evil these parents were. I wanted Summer to be found, brought home, justice served, just like I did Quentin. Right? Just like I wanted the justice for the little Boswell girl. Callie Romney. I wanted justice for Callie. That was a case that was really weird. Sometimes I still wonder about that case. But you know what? I can honestly say I've always tried to do what's right out here for the right reasons. So, but I do worry. I'm not going to say I don't worry because, there's a lot of hate out here in this YouTube community. A lot of hate. A lot of people come at you sideways. A lot of people say things and do things and just, it's not good. It's not good. And, I don't like having to, defend myself all the time against evil people, haters that don't like me. I don't like to have to, be somebody I don't want to be in order to defend myself all the time. There's a lot, there's a downside to this too. There's a great upside, but there's a real downside. And it's like JLR right now, right? We don't know his story. We don't know if he really did what he's being accused of doing. We don't know anything about it. We haven't heard his side. Because he doesn't feel he needs to tell it. It's like he doesn't need other people's, he doesn't, he's like either you, I've been out here with you guys for a long, long time. Either you know me or you don't. I'm not going to, defend myself against anything because I ain't done nothing to defend myself against. I get that. He's not willing, to even talk about it. I don't know if, any of it's true or it isn't true, but I do know that a lot of haters are trying their best to do everything they can to turn the people against him. And I don't think they're trying to turn everybody against him because of what he done, or they believe or allegedly or thinks he's done. I think they're trying, I think they got a great hate. They seen an open door and they went through it to try to, destroy him out of pure jealousy. JLR has everything they wished they could have. right? He has everything. He's who they wish they could be. And, and they're just looking to destroy him. I mean, the people who's talking about JLR are, got a worse, if you ask me, they got a worse track record than he does. Right? They got a worse track record than him. So what the hell are they talking about? It's like the pot calling the kettle names, right? That's pretty much what you got going on. And, and I don't know if JLR did anything or he didn't do anything. It's not my business. To be honest with you, it's just not my business. I mean, that's between JLR, his girlfriend, and law enforcement, right? She's an adult. She didn't have to be there. And I don't know what she done. I have no idea what she done. I'm going to tell you a little story. I had a girlfriend. I know this person. Let me tell you about this person. She had an old man. And she would go at him and go at him and go at him. I mean, sometimes she would, physically go at him until, he couldn't take it, and he would come back to defend himself, right? He would come back to defend himself. And then when police came, guess who's getting taken away? This guy is laying in a chair or a sofa or somewhere. This guy is asleep. And the next thing he knows, he gets woke up with violently, physically abused. He gets woke up being physically abused. And who's who's getting taken away? I'm going to tell you, it was him every time. It was him. Because that's how law enforcement works. But sometimes the other person can be a victim. And they don't want to talk about it. You think a man wants to come out here and talk about how, a lady laid it on him? Unless she laid it on the right way, he don't want to talk about it, right? So, I don't know. I don't know what she did. I don't know what he did. I don't even care. Because that's law enforcement's problem. They're both grown adults. They need to handle it. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. If it was my daughter, I promise you, if it was my daughter, I'd have said you shouldn't have been there. You'll have to, I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to say I ain't going to be upset that someone would do that to my daughter. But that's my daughter's problem. And it's law enforcement's problem. That is not my problem. I would tell my daughter, I thought I raised you better than to let someone do this to you. But if you allowed it, then, what can anybody do? What can anyone do? You can't take it back after it's done. You shouldn't have been there for it to be done to you. That's, that's my thing. And, a lot of women get abused. I know a lot of women who have, they shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have been there. They, why they stayed, I don't know. I can't figure that one out. But they did for many reasons, I'm sure. Many reasons. And I think the biggest reason that women stay in abusive relationships is because they're trying to hold on. They're trying to hold on to something that ain't worth holding on to. They're trying to hold on to some, they don't want it, but they don't want nobody else to have it. And they're sticking around, feeling that they're invested. In what? In what? They need to get the hell away from it. I wouldn't feel invested. I don't care what me and a person have obtained over our marriage or our relationship. I don't care. I'm not going to stay invested. I'm going to tell you, I don't care if we had a mansion and a Maserati. He could have that shit. He can have it all. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I'm not going to stay in a bad relationship for my children because I can go to court and I can get restraining orders for not just myself, but my children if he's that violent. And I can get my kids and move us all to safety, right? I can move us all to safety. I just ain't going to do it. It, ain't happening. Like I said, I'm going to tell you, you see the signs before the physical abuse starts. You start to have altercations. It's mental. The person, before they physically start to do stuff to you, they've already mentally started on you, right? Arguing with you. You see the sign. You see the abuse coming. You see that abuse coming before it happens. And I'm going to tell you something. If a man starts to argue with me, well, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord, you know what. Just ain't happening. I ain't got time to argue. This life's too short. It's too short, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not wasting my time like that. I ain't got that kind of time to waste. If you can't, what did they say? If you can't keep the old spark, if you can't keep that old spark burning, well, you got to go out with it, right? You got to go out the door with it. You got to get up every day. I insist on good communication. I insist on a good humor. I insist, don't give me no shit because you got to leave if you do. You got to leave. You got to get out of my life. Like I said, I ain't got time for it. I like to laugh. I like to kid around. I like to joke. I like to not give a shit about anything. Like I said, I don't cry over spilt milk. If it's spilt, then I got to clean it up, throw it out, and forget about it, right? Who cares? At least nobody slipped on it. Nobody got hurt on it. Nothing bad happened. Who cares? You can get more milk. You can get more milk. As long as, there is no altercations to it, throw it away and move on. It's materialistic trash. It can be replaced. And I'm not going to spend time arguing about stuff like that. I learned a long time ago, it ain't worth it. Yeah, like my husband does. He does. I'm sure he probably would upset. He might upset some women. He may upset some women. He don't upset me. I don't get upset. I'm one of those people that I just don't care. Make a mess, I clean it up. I'm going to tell you, the one thing I understand is, if your husband shaves his face all over the sink or, leaves his dirty clothes laying around or, does stuff that would irritate most people, I know that one day you're going to wish you could see those clothes again. I know you're going to wish you could clean up the hair off of that sink again. You would do it. You would do it with pleasure. If you really love a person, you would have done it with pleasure. If you really love somebody, that stuff don't bother you. You know, you look at it and you smile. It's memories. It's memories. You know, like little Mr. Fix-It. It's memories. Little Mr. Fix-It likes to go around and find all kinds of things to fix and, you know, and stuff. And I let him, and yeah, I support it. I support it because you know why? One day I'm going to wish little Mr. Fix-It was around to be fixing things, right? But he's going to be off. He's going to be married. He's going to be fixing his own house. He's going to be doing other stuff. And you know, you're going to wish you had that again. And it's gone. It's gone a lot faster than you think. You know, all the stuff you're complaining about, one day you're going to wish you could have had something to complain for. But you ain't. You know? So, you know, forget about all the dumb stuff, man, and focus on all the good stuff. Focus on everything that's good around you. You know? And a lot of people don't learn that. They don't learn that until they're leaving this world, right? They're going out of this world. Like they end up critically ill or something. And then all of a sudden, they realize what really meant something. But it's too late. Or they lose the person they love. And it's too late. Don't let it be too late. You know, it's like everybody wants to go put flowers on people's, you know, on a person's grave. Let's go put some flowers on a person's grave. Why didn't you send this person flowers while they was alive? Why didn't you take them flowers while they were still here and could enjoy them? Why didn't you go see them and let them know how much you loved them with those flowers while they were still here? Instead of visiting them every year after they're gone with a bouquet. You know, don't make no sense to me. I mean, that's a waste. It's a waste. You wasted it, baby. You should have been doing it while they were still here to give it to. Just, you know, just my way of thinking. I sure, you know, what the hell am I going to do with a bunch of flowers on my grave? What the hell am I going to do with that? I'm not there anymore. You know, this carcass is. I'm no longer there. I don't need those flowers. Man, I needed those flowers. I needed those flowers now. I needed those flowers to know that everybody loves me today. You know, I don't need all that stuff when I don't know nothing about it. Bring me all those flowers and candy and shit while I can still enjoy it. You know, keep your money. When I'm gone, that's when you can save your money. Or better yet, buy somebody else some flowers. Make their day. Because I wouldn't be here to enjoy it anymore. That's my thing. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I let my mama know how much I loved her while she was still alive. You know, I was right there. She had a ton of kids. I was the only one there. The only one, always around, always doing everything, always letting her know she was greatly loved. You know, it was PG. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'd do it again. I'd do it 100 times. It's just the way it is. If I could have gave some of my years to my parents to keep them here, I would have did it. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't think the rest of my siblings would have done that. They'd have been like, I ain't got no years to give. I need all my years. What the hell you talking about? Get the hell out of here. I ain't give them none of my years. But I would have did it. I would have gave them some of mine just so I could be with them. That's the difference, man. That's what separates good people from evil people, right? I'm going to tell you something. I don't wish to be none of my siblings. Not a damn one of them. There ain't a damn one of them I would want to be. Because I don't like them. Right? They're all selfish, self-seeking, self-centered. Fucking don't think right. They don't think right. Bunch of fucking morons. They like to use and abuse the shit out of people. They like to put other people down to make themselves feel better because they feel so fucking small. Right? I don't need none of that shit. I don't have to put other people down so I can feel better. I don't need to do that. Absolutely not. I'm happy with who God made me, and I wouldn't want to be anybody else. So I don't have to put anybody down to feel better. Nobody should have to put anybody down to feel better about their damn self. If you got to put other people down to feel better about yourself, you got some issues that need to be, you got some real issues that need to be addressed by a psychologist out there. You got some real fucking problems. That's all I got to say. I don't have that. I'm not jealous of anything anyone has. I'm happy with everything I have. I'm happy with everything God blessed me with, right? I don't want nothing anyone else has. I don't even care about what other people have. I'm glad to see people have stuff because, when you're doing good, PG's doing good. I don't have to worry about you. When you are doing great, I'm doing great. That's why I like to see everybody have, because I worry about people. And I don't like to worry about people. I wish everybody could take care of themselves and have everything they need and everybody be okay. I want people to have. I want you to have a nice home. I want you to have a nice car. I want you to have plenty of food, medicine if you need it. I want that for people. I don't want nothing that somebody else got. I want my own. I want to work and make my own. Right? And that's the way everyone should be. That's the way people used to be back in history. They all wanted to work and make their own, and that's why they got along so well. That's why they helped one another when one another needed help. Right? Because they didn't need to put nobody down to make themselves feel better. They didn't sit around coveting what everybody else had because they're just greedy bastards wanting more and more and more and can't get enough. It's not that they don't have enough. It's that they just want all of theirs and yours and everybody else's too, because they just can't get enough, right? Well, they're going to get enough in hell. They're going to have all the fire they need and want down there, right? They're going to have all the motherfucking heat and light that they want. The only thing they're going to be lacking is water. They're not going to get none of that. right? You know, I'd like to say that I wouldn't give them a drink if I could, but I would. I know I would. I know if I saw somebody in hell, and I don't care who it was, if I saw somebody in hell and I could give them a drink of water, I would. Even if it was my worst enemy, even if it was my very worst enemy, I'd still want to give them a drink. And that's what separates God's children from evilness, from other people, from haters. That's what separates us. That's how you know you're a good person, is when you want to give somebody in hell, your worst enemy, the person that done you the worst, when you'd want to give them some water. You feel you have mercy. You feel sorry. You feel for them what they didn't ever feel for you. That's when you know you're a good person. That's when you know you're a true child of God. You want to know how you're a true child of God? That's how you know. If you ain't there yet, well, you're not a true child of God yet. Yeah, that's what Jesus would do. Amen. I don't hate nobody. I don't dislike nobody. A lot of people dislike me. I wish they didn't, but they do. But I don't dislike anybody. I just try to give people a dose. They come at me sideways. I try to give them a dose of the medicine. I try to make them feel what they made us feel. I want them, I try to change them. I try to hope that, they see how they're hurting somebody else and they'll quit. But they don't quit. A lot, evil people don't quit. They just get worse. They just get worse sometimes, right? You didn't help them. You didn't hurt them, but you didn't help them because they can't be helped. What can you do? But anyway, listen, what I wanted to tell you guys tonight is that house over in Arkansas, Don Wells came out when Lisa was talking about it. You heard Ogre tell you, yeah, they all knew what was going on at Don and Pam Wells' house in Arkansas. When Lisa gave the picture of the place and the address, which she did, I brought it out. Don came out and had a fit. Matter of fact, he denied that was the house. He denied that's the address. Lisa knows the house and the address because that's the house and address she lost her child at. That's the house and address that was on her court papers, on all of the papers when she lost her kid, because that's where she was residing. That's the address she was using. So she knows that address. Trust me, she won't ever forget it. But Don wanted to come out here and scream and gaslight and say it, My question is, what the hell is in that backyard? What is in that backyard Don doesn't want to be dug up? Think about it. Think about it. There got to be something at that address that he don't want people poking around for. Right? Because he sure raised hell out here trying to convince everybody that Lisa didn't know what she was talking about. That's what I wanted to bring out. We have a little girl totally disappeared over in Tennessee. Now, Don was messing with people who were homeless and there was no records really being kept on. How many people disappeared there? How many children might have disappeared there? Where did they go? Why does he want it to be the wrong address when it's the right one? Think about that, you guys. Because I did. It's just, some food for thought. That's really why I wanted to bring this to the table. Because I just felt like something wasn't fucking right about all of this and the place in Arkansas and how he was, reacting to Lisa's actions, right? Something. I just gotta wonder what's on that land. What's on that land that he don't want law enforcement or anybody out here looking into. Think about that. I mean, we already know what they're capable of, right? We know what they're capable of, and what they're capable of today and yesterday, they would have been capable of back then. Because this is who they are. And I think, law enforcement really should be out there in Arkansas running one of those devices over the ground of that particular home. They should be out there running one of those devices inside and outside of that home. Just saying. Because I truly believe if they did, they might find something, right? They might find something. I think law enforcement should work a hell of a lot fucking harder than what they do to solve these cases. I think they should get a lot nosier than they do in these cases. That's just me. But anyway, it's getting late. Easter is, I believe, over now. And we are going into Monday. We're going into Monday, and I do not got Monday off. Right? I don't got Monday off. And little man is going to get up for some feedings tonight as well. And then I got to be up and on my job in the morning. So, along with all of you. So, PG's going to get out of here. But that's what I wanted to bring to the table tonight. And I want to ask you guys, please keep those prayers going up for these missing children. Keep them going up for Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. Pray that the truth comes to light in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And pray for little Michael Vaughn. Pray for Sebastian Rogers. Pray for Jack and Lily. Pray for little Emmanuel to be found. Pray for Genesis to be found as well. Let law enforcement find her, because they definitely are looking. And let's pray that Nancy is found as well. Let's pray that so many are missing. Let us pray that God allows them to be found, brought home, and some justice be served on their behalves. Let's pray that God allows people this evil to be taken out of our society, so our society can be a little safer for everyone that isn't evil. Amen. Good night, everybody. God bless and much love.